You walk into a store, somebody says, "Hey, Greg, what's up?" But your name is Jeff. What do you think? First thing comes to your mind, hey, maybe I have an identical twin. And you know what? Maybe you do. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Weird World Podcast. I'm Dean. My sidekick joins me today. Your name is? What's your name again?
I don't know. Where's the sidekick you're talking about?
Oh, damn it. It's an old late 1990s cell phone. Remember those?
Oh, the sidekick. Yes,
the sidekick phone is like a flip. No, it wasn't a flip phone. Like the screen like flipped and you can type and it had like a keyboard.
I think, did something slide?
Maybe. Yeah. The cover slid apart
yeah.
and it had a keyboard and a screen.
Yeah. And you held it sideways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hence the name Sidekick.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to. Not you. That's crazy.
Yeah. All the kids wanted one.
I think one had one.
Yeah.
Somebody did. Otherwise, I wouldn't
Rachel
know
did,
so much
yeah.
about it. So anyway, that's not what the story's about. It's not about Sidekick.
No, it's not. Well, let's start. So you can do your timeline, Dean?
Oh, okay. I've got to start. I've got it ready. Okay, go.
It's summer,
I
believe June 2013.
2013. Okay.
Bogota, Colombia.
Bogota, Colombia. Got it.
So two young women, their names are, it's spelled Janeth, but it might be Janet.
I think it's pronounced Raquel, but go ahead.
And her friend Laura.
Laura.
They were on their way to a barbecue at some friend's house. It's a Saturday afternoon. And so they decided, let's stop at this grocery store in Bogota. Mm-hmm. It's near where Laura lives in northern Bogota. And Janet knew the butcher at the store because he was the cousin of her boyfriend. His name was William. She thought maybe he would be able to give them a little discount on some ribs.
So far we have a Laura and a William who live in Bogota, Colombia. Just unusual. I'm just throwing that out there.
And Janet.
And a Janet. Okay, come on. These are fake names.
Janet's boyfriend is Brian.
Okay, we're in St. Louis. What's happening? Is it Bogota, Missouri? You sure it's Colombia?
I am positive it's
right.
Colombia. So Laura recognized the butcher right away as somebody she knew from work.
Oh.
And she worked at an engineering firm named Stricon.
Oh,
and so she smiled and waved at him, thinking, what is he moonlighting as a butcher on the weekends? Because he's not making enough at the engineering firm.
And working for a company that is owned by a supervillain. Stricon? For sure that'd be an X-Men. That's they're actually secretly manufacturing supervillain, mechanical robot supervillain, something like that. I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility.
But the butcher just looked at her like, okay, lady, why are you looking so happy to see me?
Huh.
And then Laura said, what? That's William. That's Brian's cousin. What are you doing? And Laura said, no, I know that guy. He works at my work. Why is he working here? This is so weird.
This is about clones.
No.
Damn it.
And she said the guy, she knows his name is Jorge, and he designs pipes for oil transport.
Finally, we have an appropriate name.
Mm-hmm. What? Oh, Jorge.
Okay. If you said George, I was going to.
So Janet said, like I already said, no, that's my boyfriend's cousin. He definitely only works here because he works long hours. He doesn't have time to be working
in the butcher department of the supermarket.
Uh-huh. Laura still thought, that is Jorge. I don't know what's going on, but that's okay. Maybe he's embarrassed and he's pretending to be William.
You're not going to try to do a third doppelganger episode, are you?
No.
Okay.
And because he was identical, his frame, the texture of his hair.
The texture of his hair? She was stroking her hand through his hair tenderly. This is getting a little weird.
The look of his mouth and a lot of other just little details. You know when you see somebody you know.
The way he kissed.
He didn't just look like Jorge. He was Jorge.
Okay.
So she had to let it go. They got their ribs and went on their way. So then on Monday at work, Laura saw Jorge and told him that she met his double over the weekend. He was a butcher at a grocery store. And Jorge just kind of laughed about it. I mean, what is he going to do? But he said he in fact does have a twin brother.
What?
His name is Carlos, but they don't really look very much alike.
Oh,
so they're
fraternal
not
twin.
identical twins.
Okay.
So then about a month goes by and, nothing happens. And a job opens up at the Stricon Engineering or whatever it's called.
The
And
supervillains
in the
company.
drafting department. And she tells Janet about it because I guess Janet was looking for a job. Janet gets that job. And so pretty soon she sees Jorge at work. Jorge, who looks exactly like her boyfriend's cousin.
So now she knows
William.
what Laura was talking about.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
And she thinks this is weird. They have the exact same brown eyes, the same
Well.
bouncy walk with the way they
Oh,
kind of splay
that's
their
interesting.
feet out, and the same big smile.
So 2 out of 3 are fairly common, but the third one, the bouncy walk. Smile and brown eyes in Colombia, not super nutsy.
Well, so she didn't say anything. She didn't know him very well. She just started working there, so she didn't really say anything to him. But she did look him up on Facebook, and the next time she saw William, she showed him a picture of Jorge. William just laughed about it and thought, oh gosh, that really is a crazy coincidence. Janet didn't work at Stricon for long. She only worked there for about 6 months, and then she left. But during all that time, she was thinking about Jorge and William, and it was so weird. So after she left Stricon, she texted Laura a picture of William to show Jorge. She had already showed William the picture of Jorge.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to see what Jorge would say. So Laura did that, and when Jorge saw the picture of William, he said, "Hey, that's me."
How does she get a picture of me? You're creeping me out.
In the picture, William was wearing a yellow Colombian soccer jersey, very common.
Sure.
A lot of people had the same jersey. Jorge did happen to have the same exact jersey, which is why it looked more like him than if he had been wearing something unfamiliar. So Jorge had this picture, and he showed it to a friend who just, like a coworker friend who happened to be walking by, say, "Hey, what do you think about this picture?" And the friend said, "Wait, you look fine." He thought it was a picture of Jorge.
If he had been in a sexy witch Halloween costume, that would have been much more impressive and shocking. But now he's is he thinking that's a picture of me, or does he know it's not him?
He knows it's not him.
Oh, okay.
Because when Laura showed him, she said, "This is the butcher that Janet thought was you." So Jorge couldn't stop looking at the picture. He was so distracted. He couldn't get any work done that day.
I am so handsome.
He was talking to Laura about it in the lunchroom at work, and he was just kind of speculating, like, what could this be? And he was thinking, maybe my dad had another kid that we didn't know about. His dad apparently wasn't around much during his childhood. He was kind of an absentee father.
Was his dad Nick Cannon? No, yes, maybe. Was it Sean Kemp? No? Was it any? No, okay.
So Jorge started looking at some more photos on William's Facebook page on his phone. And in one picture, he saw William standing next to a friend, and they're both like holding shot glasses. And, the pictures are kind of small on your phone. He really wanted to get a better look at this picture because this picture really caught his attention. So he went to his desktop computer at his desk, and he pulled up William's Facebook page there because he wanted to get a closer look at the friend who was standing next to William in this picture. And when he did, the whole situation got even more confusing.
What?
Because not only was William his double, the face of the friend next to William in this picture looked even more familiar to him than William did because it was the face of his twin brother, Carlos.
Carlos. Oh, wait, I thought, okay, so William and Carlos, and it's Jorge and who?
We haven't said anything.
Oh, we haven't got, okay. We're going to have 4. I can tell that.
Jorge
already.
has a fraternal twin brother named Carlos.
Yes. Oh, Jorge. Wait, I thought William did.
No.
Okay.
Jorge.
Damn it.
William is standing next to a person that looks exactly like Carlos.
Okay. In the
his
picture. Okay.
And this is what has
I might need
Jorge
a spreadsheet as
in a
opposed to a
tizzy.
timeline for this one, actually. Or some kind of a tree, maybe? Something like that.
Jorge lived with his brother Carlos, who was an accountant, and Carlos was the smarter of these two brothers. They both worked at good jobs during the day. Carlos as an accountant, Jorge as a piping designer.
Piping designers, that's a very common. By night, you said by the day. By night, they're
By day.
supervillains,
No, at
superheroes.
night, they were both going to the university to get their degrees.
Oh, okay. Night school. Good for them. Which school? Just curious.
Don't know.
University de Bogota.
Well, it was in Bogota,
All right.
so who
I'm just
knows?
going to throw that. Doesn't. I don't know if that's a thing, but could be. Probably.
They lived together, like I said, in a duplex in a good middle-class neighborhood.
One on one side, one on the other. Had a wall between them. It's the way you do it.
One that was better than the little apartment or the little room that they grew up in. Their mom was a housekeeper, and she was
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger is their father.
raising them essentially alone because her husband was never around, with their older sister Diana in one small room in their grandmother's house in Bogota.
Okay.
In this one small room, so it was three kids,
So
the mom.
Jorge, Carlos, and Diana. Okay, I had to throw in a white name there. At least one per family, apparently.
In the room, they had a TV and a refrigerator, and they were able to go to good public schools. They thought they had a fine life. I mean, they didn't feel deprived of anything, but financially, anyway, they were doing much better now, obviously.
With those pipe design jobs. I mean, pipe design is lucrative. Don't get me wrong.
Jorge was able to go to soccer matches when he wanted to, and Carlos was fond of clubbing.
Okay. All right. Carlos.
So when Jorge got home that evening, Carlos was on the phone with a woman, as he did quite often.
He's a player.
Sounded
I think you know
he
what I'm
was
saying. I know
quite the
Carlos.
ladies' man.
All right.
Jorge was, while he was waiting for Carlos to get off the phone, he was trying to figure out exactly what he was going to say to him about their apparent doubles that he had seen that day.
So he thinks they both have twins out there. Doppelgangers,
Yes.
effectively.
So when Carlos gets off the phone, he said, "What would you say if I told you I had an identical twin?" And Carlos didn't say anything. And then he said, "Do you believe in telenovelas?"
Do you believe in... I mean, they're a thing. They're a real thing.
I think he meant like
Yeah.
the situation, the outlandish situations.
Oh,
in
is that
telenovelas
a
being
plot
true.
twist in a telenovela?
I think there's probably lots of secret twins and stuff like that. It's soap opera. I mean,
Yeah.
same thing that we have here.
Not much anymore, but...
Carlos wasn't one to, humor his brother and play along with little jokes and, games and stuff. So he basically just told him, if you have something to say, just come out and say it.
Carlos too serious.
So Jorge pulled up the pictures of William and the other guy on his laptop to show to Carlos. So first he showed him the one of William in the soccer jersey, the same one that Jorge had. And then he showed him a picture of the same guy that looks exactly like him in the butcher shop wearing a bloody apron,
Ooh.
which obviously is something Jorge wouldn't be wearing.
No. He
Carlos-
was he was terrified of blood. Everyone knew that. Carlos knew that.
Carlos was laughed at it because it was ridiculous, but he did recognize the resemblance and the weirdness of the whole thing. And then Jorge clicked on the picture of William next to Carlos's double, the one
now.
where they're holding shot glasses. Carlos immediately pulled back, like somebody pushed him or pulled him.
Did he shout, El Diablo, El Diablo?
No, he said, "Who are they?" So Jorge told him what he knew about William from Laura and Janet, that William and his brother were from Santander, a very rural area of Colombia to the north, and they were raised on a farm. They discovered through Facebook that William and his brother were born in late December 1988, the same month that Jorge and Carlos were born. Jorge immediately thought maybe there was a mix-up at the hospital there were two sets of twins, and maybe we got mixed up. They didn't say it, but they were both thinking. They did talk about that, but the one thing they didn't say was if one of them, between Jorge and Carlos, which one wasn't really born into their family.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they both pretty much knew it would be Carlos.
Because he looked less like the parents?
Yes.
Okay. So Carlos, sorry, buddy. That's why Carlos is a player.
Carlos,
He's just a different outlook on life.
He very much did. He didn't look like Jorge and Diana, their older sister. He was a lot taller. He was bigger and, like kind of stockier. And
he was black. And otherwise, though, no.
He had a wider nose and a heavier brow. I'll show you pictures. Okay. And he always kind of felt different than the rest of his family. Not bad, not like he didn't belong, but just a little bit different. And he kind of valued it as him just being independent. Their mom would play silly make-believe games with the kids, and he never was very interested in it. So it was just the mom and Jorge and Diana that, they would play these games for hours. And he was the only one in the family who cared about fashion.
Oh.
And he was definitely the only one in the family who could dance.
Oh. Those things, so the implication is those things are essentially genetic.
Yeah. Well, they didn't think this, and they had never thought these things because they didn't know their father very well.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up around him, so they thought, Carlos just takes after their father.
And we take after
our mom. Yeah. But Carlos was bothered, obviously, by this. He just kind of silently went into his bedroom and closed the door.
That sounds like Carlos.
Yeah. Jorge tried to make him feel better. He said they're brothers no matter what happens. Carlos just basically dropped it. And told Jorge, don't bring it up again. I don't want to talk about it. Which I don't think they're going to be able to ignore it for long.
No.
The next day.
Otherwise, it's not really a story.
No. The next day, at the butcher shop, William was working with his cousin, Brian.
Cousin Brian.
Janet's boyfriend.
Janet's boyfriend, cousin Brian.
Brian.
I will need a tree.
Brian told, you can just write it down.
I know. That's no.
Brian told William that Janet had showed him pictures of the guys that looked just like him and his brother. I'm going to tell you, William's brother's name is Wilbur.
Wilbur?
Mm-hmm. Okay. William and Wilbur.
That's unfortunate.
And William remembered that Janet had showed him a picture of Laura's coworker, Jorge, a few months earlier. But now that there's somebody who looks just like his brother, Wilbur. His coincidence was just getting to be too much.
And Wilbur is Jorge? Real twin brother?
No.
We're going.
William and Jorge look exactly alike.
Yeah. Okay. And then
the butcher and the pipe designer.
So Wilbur and Carlos. So Wilbur is going to be a dark, hulking, wide-browed buzzkill, but likes to go out and party and can dance.
Maybe we'll see.
Okay. All right. I feel like I'm already guessing where this is going.
So now Brian tells William there's another guy that looks just like Wilbur.
Okay.
So he texted Janet and asked her to send him the pictures of Jorge and Carlos. Mm-hmm. When he saw them, he screamed.
Ah! Super high pitch, girl-like scream.
And then he laughed.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a weird.
So he knew that he and his brother, they were born out in the country. They were born in Santander, and that's where they grew up.
I like that you pronounce it Santander.
Santander. I don't know how they pronounce it, to be honest.
I'm not going to try. I just like that you pronounce it Santander.
Oh, that's how it's spelled.
I know.
Janet thought, well, maybe you, William, or your brother Wilbur had gotten sick and had gone to a hospital in Bogota when you were babies or something. So William contacted an aunt who told him that, you guys were born prematurely and William had a digestive problem. So you were sent to the materno-infantil in Bogota.
Mm-hmm. So if listeners, if you're having deja vu right now, because I am, this is very, 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 very similar to an episode that you did a while back, right?
What?
You did an episode just like this.
We did the triplets.
The triplets. Okay. But wasn't there also an element with the triplets that they went into from the country into the city for treatment or something like that? I thought there was something.
No, they were adopted. Triplets were born, split up by an evil organization and separated.
Oh, damn it.
And I forget the name of the adoption agency that purposely split up twins, and they were unusual because they were triplets, and then adopted them out to different families, and then so they could be studied.
Where was that again? I forget. Oh, that's right. I remember I remember them being studied. Yeah, but I remember they were being studied. And yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was some element of coming from the country and going to the city, and that. No. Have you told me this story? The story you're telling me right now? This one right now? William and Carlos and Company?
Nope.
Okay. I wonder if okay, never mind. It just I'm getting a super sense of deja vu, so I wonder if I have read about it and just
maybe you have.
Forgot about it 20 years ago.
An article in the...
This was 1980. What year is this? 2013,
yeah,
right? Okay.
2013. So it was confirmed that they had gone to the hospital in Bogota. So William then asked Janet to find out where Jorge was born and if it was the same hospital, because he was suspecting a baby swap.
Yeah.
And
if that's not very soon a reality show, I don't know what is. That would be phenomenal. It might be 20 years in the making or more, but well worth it.
Well, all of a sudden, this wasn't so much fun anymore. It wasn't funny and amusing.
Wouldn't it be? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be amusing or funny. That's not the right word, but it would be fascinating. It's not.
Yes.
I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be crushing. It wouldn't be. Oh my God! Oh no! I'm not. Who cares? You were brought up. I don't know. I wouldn't feel like.
Well, you'll find out why some people would care.
I mean, I'm not. I have very little. I do look like this. I may have been switched at birth from my brother and sister. I don't look like them. I have a very different personality from them. I'm assuming, I'm now, after hearing this story, I'm assuming that I was swapped out from someone else. I'm going to assume it for now on for the rest of my life.
Well, we know that your mother is your mother.
Do we, Carrie? Do we?
Yes, because you look like your mother.
Have we had a DNA test?
You have.
Okay,
you
but so what you're trying to imply is that my father is not my real father. I am okay with that.
No,
I'm more than okay with that.
I'm not trying to imply
Damn it.
that. I know your father's your real father because your brother is your real brother on...
From my mother from another brother. Wait, what?
No, it has been confirmed in DNA.
Don't ruin it for me.
I'm sorry. He's your full brother. If he was a half brother, I would know.
Carrie, as you know, is an Ancestry.com fiend, and she's the one who found out that my supposed Native American blood was in fact Scottish and crushed my self-worth. But that's fine.
Okay, so this whole thing wasn't so much fun anymore.
No.
William knew he had always looked different from his family and wanted different kinds of life than they did. He wanted a life away from the farm where they grew up. So this day he was not able to concentrate on work and helping the customers. So he left. He and his brother Wilbur actually lived together in an apartment in the building where the store was. It was on the third floor. So he just went upstairs.
Both sets of brothers live together. They are 24. Wait, you said 2013, 13 plus 25, right?
Did I tell you when they were born?
1988.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they're 24 going on 25. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So while he was up there, probably mulling all of this over, Janet texted him back that Jorge and Carlos were born at Materno Infantil.
In late December 1988.
Yep. So he had to go down, showed his cousin Brian the text, and then he sat down on a bench at the back of the store and just started crying. Because then now he knew for sure.
Oh. Maternal Infantil?
Materno.
So baby maternity?
No, it's like a maternity, infant hospital.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Really? So the specialty is just making babies, not making babies. Let me correct the record.
Birthing babies.
Birthing babies.
Yeah. Okay. And probably postnatal, because they weren't born there.
Do we have those?
But they were sent there. I don't know.
I've never heard of just a baby hospital.
Yeah. I mean, we have children's hospitals, but not.
That's different.
Yeah. No.
Huh, okay.
I mean, maybe somewhere. I don't know.
Just a big factory. I mean, we have abortion factories. A lot of Republican Congresspeople have told us that.
Yeah, that big mega.
Yeah, mega abortion complex.
It was a joke.
But we don't have baby hospitals, so maybe we should think about it. Let's found them.
No, because nobody gives a shit about women and children. And
okay, Carrie. just get off your soapbox and go back to the twin swapping story. Let's go.
Well, his heart was breaking thinking about how he was going to tell his mom that she wasn't really his mom.
Don't tell her. She's old. She's now. She's senile.
And
She's 49. She doesn't know what's happening.
Out of her 6 children, he was the one that she had the closest relationship with. And, he was the one that was sending her money regularly to help her because, they were very poor farmers out in the very rural area.
What was his job? He's at the
William was a butcher.
Butcher, that's right.
Mm-hmm. And the only time he could ever remember being upset with his mom growing up was when he realized that he would not be able to accept a scholarship to a military officer training program that would give him an education because he hadn't gone to high school. And he blamed his mom because their parents took him and Wilbur out of school at the age of 11 or 12.
Jesus.
Because
to work the fields?
They needed to work on the farm.
Wow.
And the high school was like a 5-hour walk from their farm, and there were no roads. So there were no vehicles. There were horses and stuff.
So he had to bring a machete to school because they had to use it to get back home by cutting through the forest.
Yep, okay. They did use machetes. But so to get to high school, it would have been a 5-hour walk. So obviously that's not feasible. And his family couldn't even afford the expense to go to school because you have to pay fees, entrance fees, buy uniforms. And then in addition, they would have to pay to house him at the school or nearby the school. And there was just no way. And then they would also have to do without whatever he could earn for them by working on the farm. So it wasn't feasible. And he thought she should have found a way to send him to school because he really wanted to get an education. And he had already been in the military. He had gone into the military and they offered him, he did so well when he was discharged or whatever, they offered him this scholarship to this officer training program, but he couldn't go because he didn't have a high school diploma.
They should let him pass a test. Damn it. Like a GED kind of a thing. Damn it. I bet he could have passed it.
So he's sitting on the bench sobbing for about 10 minutes with poor cousin Brian not knowing what to say or do with him. And then he just got up and decided, get back to work because...
Brian's awkwardly trying to touch his shoulder gently. Like, could you shut it? I have to go. This is my break.
So William got back to work. Later, he texted his brother Wilbur, who is also actually a butcher at the same store, but that day he was working at a different butcher shop, and told him, hey, you need to come home ASAP and got something important to tell you.
Their apartment must have smelled like a slaughterhouse. They could both come home with blood all over their aprons.
No, I doubt it.
Probably raw meat in their teeth still. I'm assuming they're cannibals.
So when Wilbur finally showed up, William showed him the pictures of Jorge and Carlos on his phone. Wilbur immediately said, so we were swapped.
Yeah, he knew.
And then he said, you're my brother and you'll be my brother until the day I die.
Oh, when he killed him.
So that's William and Wilbur.
Okay.
So, so both of these sets of brothers grew up thinking they were fraternal twins. We have twin brothers. We don't look very much alike. So fraternal twins are basically just like any siblings.
Yeah, they don't have the psychic link that identical twins do.
No.
That we all know identical twins do.
They are 2 separate eggs, 2 separate sperms.
Is Carrie doing a biology quiz lesson now? Okay.
What are identical twins, Dean?
Identical twins are when an egg splits after it's been impregnated. Is that the right word? After the little swimmer pops his head into the egg and germinates it. Am I using plant verbiage now? Fertilizes it. I prefer germinates. And then it splits, and so they have the exact same.
It doesn't split immediately, but yeah.
But at some point.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the 7.5 month, it splits. It's weird. It's like 2 babies it's weird.
No. But so anyway, yeah,
I've heard it both ways.
So identical twins, 1 egg, 1 sperm, becomes 2 babies. So they share how much of their DNA?
Identical twins? 100%.
100%.
You can't tell them apart.
Fraternal twins,
that means one twin can commit murder because they always can blame it on the other twin, and the DNA test is not going to help you. So my contention is that of identical twins, at least one of them is always going to be a murderer. That's just a theory of mine. Okay. I haven't studied it that well. I don't have any evidence to support that, but it's a working hypothesis.
So how much DNA do you share with your brother?
50%?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I passed the Peapod Mengel.
There is
Mendel.
a case of identical twin sisters marrying identical twin brothers.
That sounds weird. And swapping? A lot of swapping
No,
going on.
not
They couldn't tell.
swapping.
Carrie, they could not tell the difference. They
But
had
when
no
they
idea.
have babies, and they do all have babies, how much DNA do those babies share?
I'm not even going to try. It's multiplication.
I think they're all like siblings.
That's
right?
It's getting creepier.
They would all share the same
I think so.
DNA.
Yeah, that's
The
not
same
good.
fit,
That's probably unhealthy. Is this Chang and Eng
It
Bunker?
is weird.
Yeah.
No, they're in the South or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember where it was. So although these brothers were raised as fraternal twins, they are now realizing we're actually identical twins. We're just raised with,
How
with
does
the
that?
wrong twin.
Are you ever going to get to how they were swapped? That just seems so weird that two sets of identical twins would be swapped. Do babies at that age? The babies.
All babies look like blobs.
Yeah, they don't look enough unlike to tell. But God, you think?
Well,
and I guess
here's what
this is the pitfalls of having a pure baby hospital, because that means they're probably giving birth to, I'm going to say 150 babies a day is what I'm saying. I've got some stats to back that up, and so it's much more likely you have some miss swaps, some accidental swaps at a baby hospital than a hospital that just like a couple a day.
It depends on what their processes were. This was 1988. I wasn't having babies in 1988, but
Thank God.
when did they start putting tags on, babies?
Well, now they brand them.
with
Now they actually just do
barcodes
a little like a cattle brand on babies. I don't know if you knew that or not. It's true. Now they chip them. So they go beep and they go beep, beep, and if you walk out the door and your baby goes, that means you've got the wrong baby. You have to bring it back. It has to go beep as you walk out the door.
Wow.
These are facts.
And they scan the baby when they bring it into the mom. And they scan
On like the
baby's,
supermarket scanning,
Yeah.
a cue thing. Oh, they had the little gun.
Yes, they scan the baby's wristband. They scan the mom's wristband. They scan the dad's wristband. I mean, you remember you had to accompany each baby to the nursery to make sure that it didn't get switched along the way.
As a lark, I tried to take someone else's baby just to see if they, and you know what? They were successful. They just stopped me.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, on December 22nd, 1988, in a poor rural part of Colombia, a woman
Santander.
named Anna was 28 weeks pregnant and she went into labor. So this is early. I think she knew she was having twins. Problem was, this was an issue because she was at least 10 to 12 weeks early. And the nearest hospital was a 6-hour hike from their farm.
Oh my God.
No roads. So it's not like you could hop in a vehicle.
Could you put her in a wheelbarrow and at least get her on so she's not walking the whole way? She has to walk by herself the whole way. Could you piggyback her maybe?
Her
Could you
husband did accompany her, but
Oh, well, thanks.
yeah, she
Thanks.
had to walk.
He walked ahead with the machete.
As soon as she got to the hospital, as you would imagine, she immediately had the babies.
They're 10 or 12 weeks early.
Yeah.
So they're like, aren't they
They're
kind of the
28
size
weeks.
of a stick of gum? Something like
Well,
that.
probably a
Or
little bit
but
bigger
with
than
arms
that.
and legs. So get a stick of gum, listeners, and draw a face on it. Put toothpicks for arms and toothpicks for legs, and that's what babies look like.
Not really. You could Google it, and I'm sure you could find what a 28-week fetus looks like.
Do what I said. Use juicy fruit
Anyway,
or Big Red.
Anna had to stay in the ICU for a little while after having the babies. And William's aunt said earlier he had some digestive issue. And also because they were premature,
Yeah.
they needed to go to Bogota.
I don't think they even have stomachs yet. You have to attach them to an artificial stomach.
So anyway, they went to the materno-infantile in Bogota, which was about 250 kilometers away. I don't know how many miles that is.
That's less. It's like 100 plus miles. Something like 100 miles. Something. I don't know.
So, coincidentally, and as I'm sure everybody can already guess, at the same time, another mom was having twin boys, also 10 weeks early.
What?
Yeah.
So okay.
Same hospital.
So now you have four. You're going to have 4 children here that are much smaller than all the other ones.
Yep.
I'm assuming, right? Because they're the size of a stick of gum, as we established.
Yep.
So your odds against swapping them are now much better You really don't have an excuse to swap them. Here's 4 babies that are,
But they all
unlike
probably
all
look
the other
very-
ones. But
very
those, yeah, you're
similar.
right. Those 4 do look alike because they're so small and premature.
Yeah.
They look like 4 sticks of gum. So
Yes. Yep.
that's too bad. It's too bad they didn't use Big Red versus Juicy Fruit because they're different colors and they
Yeah.
could have told them apart. Damn it.
Well, so all 4 of the babies were confirmed in the same nursery for a few days. Do you remember a
No.
movie? So this was December 1988. Do you remember an eerily similarly plotted movie that came out in June of 1988?
That was not a telenovela?
No. It
Oh, you're saying the hospital did it on purpose
It was
because
a
they saw the
US
movie and they wanted to
movie.
see if this would work and this would happen. They wanted to mimic. Oh my God, this is
Big
a
Business.
scandal.
Remember
Big
Big
Business? No, I don't.
Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler.
Nope.
And it was...
Was that Beaches? Was that the comedic version of Beaches?
No.
Oh.
It was very similar because obviously Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin don't look anything alike.
Nope.
But they played twin sisters
Oh, okay.
who, as adults, meet twin sisters that look exactly like them.
I thought it was going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito who were their twins.
Which one set of the twins grew up in the country. So they had country twins and city
Really?
twins. Same thing. I remember them in gingham dresses, the country twins in gingham dresses. And it was
mean
big business
ginger.
because they ended up going into business together or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. Pies. or
Pies. They made
something.
pies. They made a lot.
I
of
don't
money from
remember
pies.
what it was.
Okay. All right.
But so anyway, yeah. No, I don't think that it was done on purpose because somebody saw big business. But it is funny
I
that
do.
it happened.
I another working hypothesis. Until you prove me wrong, we have to assume it's correct. That's how logic works. So purposely swapped to as a joke because they saw the movie Big Business with Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin. Who were the other sisters? I'm going to say
Lily
Susan
Tomlin.
Sarandon. No, there was another sisters, right?
Well, they had
Oh,
the
didn't-
identical twins.
so it was Lily Tomlin and Lily Tomlin and Bette Midler. And they didn't get people who look just like Lily Tomlin. Okay, that would have been much better.
It's movie magic, Dean. They can do things like that. Even way back in 1988.
I forgot how identical twins works for a minute. They do.
Oh, you're so funny.
Hmm.
Okay, so now they're realizing, hey, we're each part of a set of identical twins. The way the men are thinking about the situation and approaching the situation is also kind of evident that Carlos and
yeah.
Wilbur are brothers and
Yeah.
William and Jorge are brothers.
Again, if you buy I don't know. I mean, yes, in this case, it works out that way. But again, there are so many brothers that are very different from one
Well,
another.
of course.
Are identical twins ever have radically different personalities? Are they? Is it pretty normal for identical twins to be very similar in their outlooks and their personalities and things like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's weird.
And fraternal twins are just like regular siblings.
Yeah.
And there are lots of studies, but it's very difficult, as you might imagine, to study identical twins reared apart. Because that's not done. It's unethical to do it on purpose. So
And they also taste the same. The Big Red twins both taste like cinnamon, and the Juicy Fruit tastes like fruit. No one knows what kind of fruit, just fruit.
Well, so what I was getting at was Carlos and Wilbur both didn't like talking about it. They wanted to just drop the whole thing. Let's not even talk about it because we don't know what kind of trouble these, we don't know what kind of people these other guys are.
And they're both the not biologically connected family member, correct? In their situations. Carlos is not really the child of his mom.
Carlos is not really the child who should have grown up in Bogota.
Yeah, and vice versa. And Wilbur
was born in the country and stayed in the country.
Oh, okay.
So, yes.
But so he would have been born. Where were Carlos? I'm so confused.
Carlos and
Oh, that's right, because
Jorge
they went to the country. Okay.
were
got
born
it.
in Bogota.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So, and William and Jorge were a little bit more, they were a little bit more, they found it a little bit humorous and they were laughing about it. They were taking it seriously, but
They also wonder if this is based on the movie Big Business.
But they were both very open to meeting. They wanted to meet each other and soon. So very shortly after this, Janet arranged a meeting for William and Jorge that very night after the butcher shop closed. So it closed around 9. So Wilbur kept looking at the pictures And eventually he decided, yeah, I want to go too. So I'll come with you to meet Jorge.
They met at a Chili's.
Carlos wasn't going to go.
Outback Steakhouse?
William was getting kind of nervous about it. So he left work early to go get a haircut and then go change into his best sweater. Which
What? Why?
I think
wants
is
to
very
impress his
sweet.
identical.
Yeah.
Would you or would you not, upon meeting for the first time your adult identical twin at the Chili's, would you or would you not start the conversation with, "Oh my God, you're so good looking"? You'd have to, wouldn't you?
You would.
Yeah, I probably would.
Jorge was also getting pretty nervous about the meeting. He asked Carlos to come, but Carlos had a date and refused to cancel it.
What? That's a dick move, Carlos.
Well, he also was trying to ignore the whole thing. He was in
Not
denial.
a good idea.
So,
Not a good idea. Just meet the other ones at the Macaroni Grill and have a good time.
so the meeting was
Look, we can go to Marie Callender's if you want to go to Marie Callender's. That's
not
fine.
at a restaurant. It was going to be in a public square.
BJ's?
No, in a public square. And so
I'm
on the
almost
way,
out of chain restaurants.
So-
So when they got to the Red Lobster, what happened?
Jorge was going by himself. So along the way, he ran into a friend. So he told the friend what he was doing and asked him if he would come along for moral support. And the friend said,
The friend
"Sure."
said pretend he's the other twin and let Carlos go on his date.
So they got there first. So Jorge's there standing around, very anxiously looking around for, all the people coming
For
in and out
himself.
of the square. Yes. Until he finally sees some people walking towards him. One of the people has his face. So it's like, okay, that's them. And also walking like him.
Yeah, bouncy
So,
steps.
Yep, he knew it was him. So William and Wilbur were coming, and Brian, the cousin, was coming with them. And Brian was going to record the whole thing on his phone when William and Jorge first see each other, because it's pretty interesting.
It is.
So first,
They
William.
should have Facebooked lived it. When was this? 2013 still?
2013.
It's still okay.
Yeah, I don't think Facebook Live was a thing in
wasn't.
2013.
No.
But so at first, William stares at Jorge while Jorge kind of looks away, kind of nervously. And then William looks away, and then Jorge looks at William, and it looks very choreographed.
Really?
Like they're doing this on
Oh,
purpose.
you've seen the video?
They're totally not. Yeah.
Ah.
It was spontaneous. And then they both look at each other and stare at each other for a little bit, and then they smile.
And then
And
they
then-
kissed.
Teen. Don't be gross. And then, actually, I'll tell you offline. But in the context of doing this, there's stuff about that kind of stuff.
I don't think I
going
want to
on.
know about
Yeah.
that.
So Jorge looked at Wilbur, who is basically his brother Carlos's twin,
Yeah.
and you look just like my brother Carlos. Wilbur had seen pictures of Carlos, who wore glasses, and so his joke was that, hey, all I need are the glasses.
Yeah.
And then he giggled, and then it's like, oh my God, you sound just like Carlos. So he giggles just like Carlos.
It's that girlish squealing giggle that he has. I love that.
So now Wilbur really wants to meet Carlos. He probably felt a little bit cheated, like,
Yeah. He should.
William got to meet Jorge. So Jorge calls their apartment to tell Carlos, hey, I'm here with William and Wilbur, and I'm going to bring them back home. And so I think he was only able to leave like a message, probably an answering machine or something, and they just headed over. So when they got there, they rang the doorbell. Carlos he was home, and he just kind of stood there frozen, didn't know what to do. He couldn't bring himself to open the door. He was just way too nervous about it. And then he heard Jorge on the other side of the door yelling at him to open the door. And then he heard a giggle. A giggle that
Like
sounded
that.
like his laugh coming from the other side of the door. So Carlos finally opens the door, and all these people come in because it's Brian, and maybe Janet was even there. I don't know about Laura.
People from the BJ's just came with him. It was a great story. They
So
brought bloomin' onion.
So first he sees his brother Jorge, and then another Jorge wearing a strange sweater that he doesn't recognize. Then a woman, who I'm assuming is Janet, and then some other guy who would be Brian. And then he sees Carlos. And so I'm sorry, he doesn't see Carlos. He sees Wilbur, who he thinks that's me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself.
That would be amazing. If you don't grow up as an identical twin, that
Yeah.
would be crazy to see someone looks exactly like you.
Yeah.
Then again, you've always seen yourself in a mirror for the most part.
is a
So
little
you
bit
probably
different.
think, okay, it doesn't perfectly look like me. He parts his
is-
hair on the wrong side. But
Which is kind of why when Wilbur and Jorge were showing pictures of each other. It's like, oh, well, yeah, it kind of looks like me,
Yeah.
but you don't
Yeah.
see the identical.
You're more likely to
Resemblance,
look at
I
yourself
think.
to have your image through mirror than through
Yeah.
just looking at pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So anyway, Carlos and Wilbur just kind of looked at each other, screamed, and then they both turned around,
Screamed.
turned away from each other, covering their eyes and turning red, all at the same time.
That's weird.
And then when Wilbur started speaking, Carlos realized that Wilbur had a speech impediment, the same one that he had as a child, but he was able to get speech
'Cause
therapy
he went to
fix
He
it.
was in Bogota, not the middle.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yep. So then they all started.
You know what that is? A ringing endorsement of speech therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to all of our speech therapists out there. I'm going to give you a round of applause. Good job.
So they all started comparing notes, trying to figure out what areas where they're alike and what areas are they different. Carlos and Wilbur were both the family crybabies.
God.
Jorge and William were the sweet ones.
Aw.
Carlos and Wilbur were more organized. Carlos and Wilbur were the girl chasers. And Jorge and William were the strongest.
Oh.
And
Did they have arm wrestling, kind of a round robin?
they did do arm wrestling and
Okay.
all that kind of stuff. I don't
They
know if
did?
they did it
I was- okay.
that night, but yeah. And so then they found that they did have some differences that seemed to be due to the environment that they were raised in. Like Wilbur's hands were much bigger and kind of covered in scars from the knives and machetes that he had to use.
So he's a klutz, basically. He
Well, yeah.
okay.
And-
He puts his hand on the tree before he chops. Ah, damn it. I got to stop doing that.
And Carlos liked to get manicures, and his nails even had clear nail polish on them, which is fairly common.
And he had gauges,
In
so his
Bogota.
earlobes looked different.
William asked Jorge about his mother, and Jorge told him that she had died of cancer 4 years earlier, but he showed him a picture of her when she was young. And so they basically enjoyed the evening talking about similarities and stuff like that. So finally around midnight, William and
BJ's closes that late? Huh.
they're at their apartment, Dean.
Ah, damn it.
So, but also, yes,
BJ's
sits
does close
there,
that late.
yeah.
I should have gone with Mimi's. That's my bad.
So William and Wilbur and everybody else
Mm.
who had come with them left around midnight. And so then after they were gone, Carlos said, "So what do we do?" And then he started to cry.
Aw.
And he walked over to Jorge,
What do you
gave
mean?
him
We
a
stay
big
in
hug,
touch, obviously.
and said, "I want to be your brother."
They can all four be brothers. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a hurtful thing to say to your person you've grown up with who's in the same room. So I don't know.
No, everybody else left. It's
Oh.
just Jorge and Carlos
Got
in
it.
their apartment.
Okay, I thought
And
the
Carlos is
four.
saying, "So now what do we do?
Oh,
I want to be your brother."
okay.
It's
You still
actually
can.
very sweet.
It's very sweet, and I ruined it, but I thought
Yes,
all
you
four were
did.
still there. My
No,
bad. Okay,
because you're not listening.
not a
Because
lot
you're
now.
so hung up on how
Trying to
late
think of more
BJ
chain
stays.
restaurants that are out there. I can't. I thought of Mimi's. I threw that out. That was a new one. I will think of more.
So Carlos continued to have difficulty with the entire situation.
Yeah.
And it's understandable because he knew he was given a life and opportunities that he wasn't supposed to have.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be born out on a farm in a rural area with their home where William and Wilbur grew up. It's a wooden shack,
Oof.
no running water, no refrigeration, no bathroom, no heat, no air conditioning.
Was it at least feng shui?
No.
Damn.
I'll show you a picture.
Brutal. Not even
So,
feng shui.
and I think there were 6 kids, 2 parents, and
Damn.
One
So he would
room.
have grown up in abject poverty, not
Yes.
have gone to high school, let
Yes.
alone. Okay.
yeah.
And that happened instead to William. Okay. So William is the one. Carlos could feel a little guilty, sure, but William is the one who would feel the most like, God, that really, I don't have the life I would have had.
Yes. And remember, William is the one who wanted to get an education.
that's
and
what I mean.
wanted, Yeah.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Carlos didn't feel that way. He felt like he was the independent one. He felt if he was born out in the country, he would have found a way to get an education.
Okay. So
He would have figured it out. Yeah.
That's not how
He
it
would have
works,
pulled
but okay.
himself up by his own bootstraps.
Yeah, he's full of
and-
shit.
Yeah. He didn't know. He had never been out there. He didn't know what it was like.
All these legacy kids, you think, I did it by gumption and hard work. And my dad's first million.
So Jorge knew, that Carlos was struggling with the whole situation. So about 6 weeks after this meeting, to make Carlos feel better, Jorge went out and got Carlos's face tattooed, I think on his chest.
Getting weird.
Next to the tattoo of their mother.
And you thought it was weird that I asked if they kissed. Okay, that's a little bit weird.
So this actually did make Carlos feel better. He thought it was a very nice gesture.
Had a full body tattoo of his entire body on his body. It was weird.
But he also was realizing that Jorge and William were starting to become very close. They were spending time together. They were wearing the same sneakers, shaving their goatees the same way. Jorge would go to the butcher shop where William worked, presumably on the weekends or at nights, and like sometimes get behind the counter and start helping customers out, just to spend time with his brother. And sometimes then
he's like a pound of roast beef. I don't know how to do that, but let me try.
And sometimes he would spend the night at William and Wilbur's tiny little apartment.
Yeah.
So
they're getting close. They're
they were, which is all nice and lovely and everything, but Carlos was feeling left out, and
Carlos is a little bit of a baby.
Well, this did kind of get some media and press, and so all four twins agreed to participate in a twin study that was going to be conducted by a renowned professor whose area of expertise and research was in twins.
It's
twin
not
studies.
the same person who studied those triplets in the other episode.
No.
Good. That was too far in the past, right?
Correct.
Okay.
She is at Cal State Fullerton.
Oh.
And her name is Nancy Siegel.
Nancy Siegel.
Uh-huh.
Professor Siegel.
Uh-huh.
Huh. I don't know who that is.
No, I know you don't.
Okay.
She was going to work in conjunction with a Colombian psychologist. I think it was this Colombian psychologist that contacted her and got her involved. And they actually came to Colombia and had a whole little entourage go down to the farm where William and Wilbur grew up, because that was William's condition. I'll agree to participate in the study, but you have to go visit where Wilbur and I grew up so that you can see the context. You can see the difference in the environments, because
Take a 12-hour hike to get there, but you have to go.
it's like a 6-hour drive and then a 5-hour walk.
You have to
because
swim through caiman-infested rivers.
you can only drive so far, and then you have to get out and walk the rest of the way, and it's real muddy. and
Nancy's
real
going, you know what?
messy.
I'm a twin expert or twexpert. I don't do the jungle.
She was like 62 or something like
Oh,
that. At the
God,
time.
you're going to kill this woman.
She was very game. She had her little roller bag, little roller suitcase. Which
She's trying to do a roller suitcase.
in the mud.
Oh, well, that's
Didn't
not
work very
that
well.
wasn't.
So Carla,
you got to backpack that, sister.
William just picked it up and started carrying it on his back, because at the age of 6, he and his mother would have to do that 5-hour walk to get groceries.
Oh, my God.
So he was walking as a 6-year-old 5 hours to get groceries. Then they would spend the night at some nice lady's house near the grocery store, and then they'd wake up the next morning and hike 5 hours back with carrying groceries on their backs, on their
I
shoulders.
feel like you could build a shack within an hour of that town with the market.
Well, but then you're not in your farm.
Oh,
You're not
that's
at
a
your
problem.
farm.
You're
Yeah.
right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the Pilgrims and the pioneers did it, so I'm not gonna.
Well, William was fine carrying Professor Siegel's suitcase.
Still
on his
thinking you
shoulders,
could have brought a backpack, bitch.
But he also thought, well, no, because he purposely didn't tell them
Oh.
that it was going to be this arduous of a
Oh.
trek to get
That
their
makes
place.
him a dick.
Because he thought they might say no.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
he really
you know why?
wanted them to go there.
Caiman-infested rivers you're making us swim through.
So, but he thought, I have no problem carrying this bag, but maybe Carlos should be carrying it to see,
What?
because he knew Carlos was
a dick.
thinking, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he knew what Carlos's attitude was. So he went over to Carlos and just handed it to him. Said, here, your
Nice.
turn. Yeah.
Carlos
and
bitched about it the rest of the way.
remember, Carlos is the one who cares very much about his clothing and his manicure. And so, as he's slogging through the mud, he was not enjoying, mud up to his knees on his pants. I hope he wasn't wearing white pants, but
Probably.
he wasn't enjoying it.
What
And
month is it? I'll tell you if he's wearing white pants or not.
I don't know what month it was.
Actually, in Colombia, that doesn't count.
So anyway, so this is, I think this might be the first time that Carlos has been out on the farm. And so he meets
It's the first time Carlos has been anywhere outside of Bogota.
But he's got to meet his parents and his other siblings.
Oh, man.
And there were
I'm surprised Carlos went on this trip.
Yeah, there were a lot of other people there, a lot of other family members, extended family members. In fact, I think the parents didn't still live in the shack where they grew up, but an older brother did or something. But the parents came there, and so it was a lot of people around, and that was a little bit difficult for Carlos too. And so it wasn't a great visit the first time for Carlos.
All they did was read old copies of the National Enquirer the entire time and watched football on TV.
that would be your family home. So anyway, Jorge, had been having lots of conversations with Carlos, and where Carlos expressed that he believed he would have still managed to get an education, and he still probably would have been an accountant and probably still working in the accounting firm where he was working now.
Somebody's punched Carlos.
Kind of silly. So Jorge asked him, after they had been out there and seen where William and Wilbur grew up.
He said, have you seen Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah. Well, he said, do you honestly believe that you still would have ended up being an accountant if you grew up out there
with your manicured nails? No.
And Carlos still refused to believe that he wouldn't have. He thought he would have found a way. So, like I said, this was hurtful to William because we know that he tried every way he possibly could to get into that officer training program. Even after, so initially, they said you don't have a high school diploma, you can't be in the program. After he and Wilbur moved to Bogota, he tried again, and he actually studied for the high school diploma. He just have to take a test like a GED, I imagine.
That was my idea.
Yeah, and he passed, but then they said his score was too low for the officer training program, and because he had been already discharged from the military and given compensation because of some disease he contracted during his service, they said he was ineligible for to reenlist. So I mean, he was trying all these things, and when he went there to say, I want to reenlist or whatever, he basically just hung out until they forcibly took him off the premises and took him to a bus station.
That sounds awkward.
Yeah, it was. So anyway.
Not as awkward as when Brian was with the guy crying on the bench. That was very awkward. This is still awkward, but not as bad.
So William, eventually, he became kind of a celebrity in the nearest, I guess, town to where their farm was is La Paz. And he eventually decided he was going to run for mayor of La Paz. And his brothers helped. I don't know which one of the brothers was essentially his campaign manager.
I hope it wasn't Carlos. I doubt Carlos.
I kind of don't think it was. It was probably Jorge.
He didn't do any bell ringing. He didn't do any campaigning at all.
It was probably Jorge. He didn't win.
Oh,
but he
I would have voted for him.
Still wants to continue into politics or something. And Carlos has decided, I don't know how far they've gotten in this. I mean, obviously this was 10 years ago.
He's going to write a play about it.
Carlos decided to help William get his education.
Oh.
So he did. I think he kind of had a change of heart.
He's going to teach him to read.
And Carlos did go spend more time with his parents. He didn't grow up with a father. So William and Wilbur's father both parents were still alive. Mm-hmm. So he, went out there and spent more time with them and, probably got more comfortable, but then realized, I was kind of a big dick, and
well, that's good. He's had a change of heart.
Yes, he did.
Carlos, you know what? Carlos grew up a little bit.
Like I said, I don't know what their situation is now, since all of these stories were from 10 years ago.
Really?
But the four brothers did move in together.
Oh, see, I told you.
Yeah,
you have to
they
do that.
did
You
all
have
live
to do
together.
that.
Yeah.
Huh. Nothing. How have they not written a book? They should write a book.
Yeah, they should.
Damn it. Hey, if you guys are listening,
It does seem
Let's write a
ripe
book.
for a TV
Yeah.
show or a movie.
A
or something like
telenovela.
that. Yeah.
Sure. A telenovela based on a true story. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Carrie, in your continuing series of twin or
Yes.
triplet based oddities.
Yeah.
I appreciate. Do you have more of these? Are there going to be a quadruplet?
No,
Sextuplets who were all 5 switched 6 at birth. 7? How many? What are 6? I don't know.
But twin studies are very interesting. And you've heard of the gyms, right?
You know, I think I have heard Nancy Siegel because I think you mentioned her in the other one.
Yes. Yeah. Every twin study.
She's the Twixpert.
Yes. And she,
What is Twixpert? That's even better. That's good.
the real expert, I forget what his name is.
Is he an expert on Twix, the
The
candy bar?
twins. He's in Minnesota, I think, University of Minnesota or something like that. So Nancy Siegel studied with him.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Oh, I'm sorry. She's not the real expert. Sounds a little
he's
sexist,
older,
Carrie. Sounds
so
a little
she's
sexist.
younger. But
Oh, she's 62, Carrie.
yeah,
okay,
and
so
he's probably 80 something.
He's dead. He's dead.
because-
He's died since you last read about that. I'm sure of it.
But the Jims, they're twins, separated at birth and both adopted out, like in Ohio or something. They found each other in 1979. I don't know how, but it became a big story. They were probably on like Phil Donahue and stuff because they were both named Jim. They both married women with the same name,
Nan.
then divorced those women.
Wow.
And then they both got remarried to women with the same name.
Wow.
They both,
Karen.
they had very similar, they had identical hobbies. They had identical, speech patterns.
Well, they're identical twins.
yeah.
It is weird how that makes for. I understand having speech patterns and things like that, even the way you walk, but having the same personality and interest that seems that shouldn't be so associated with
Marrying
genetics.
women with the same name.
That's
that's
just freaking weird.
Weird.
Yeah, that's
that's
odd.
just a coincidence.
Yeah, that's.
And it's probably also a function of probably the age they were when they got married or whatever. And I think they both still grew up in Ohio. So,
Okay.
if one of them had moved to New York City or California or something like that, it might have been a little bit different, right? Because their environments were probably still very similar.
And all women at that time were named Jan and Karen, so it's not that weird that they did marry those women.
So the twins that the researchers really want to study are the identical twins where like only one of them is gay or only one of them has autism or something like that.
Or one was a Nazi and one was a Jew
Yeah.
during World War II. One was a Southerner, one was a Northerner, and they fought it at Gettysburg, and they realized, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, one thing that Nancy Siegel did say was that these twins, these identical twins, were not as similar as she thought they would be. They would have been.
But that's the same walk and the same giggle.
Yeah.
That's a lot of similarness, Osity.
Yeah.
Huh.
But probably
Well,
the
she
differences.
seems a little over demanding, Nancy.
The differences could be accounted for by the very different environments where they were raised.
Yeah, the difference could be her not bringing a fucking backpack instead of bringing a roller bag into the goddamn rainforest. That could be the difference, Nancy.
That wasn't that big of a deal to anybody.
It's a
but
big
you.
deal to me. I don't appreciate it. Not happy with
see
you,
that.
Nancy. You can get one of those backpacks, and they have the things with the water bottles that go into the side. It's handy. They're comfortable. I'm confused.
Okay.
So my takeaway is backpacks are better than roller bags, and also identical twins have the same giggle. Got it.
Yep.
Thank you. We'll look forward to the next
And
version.
speech impediments.
And speech impediment. See, Nancy, there's a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm impressed
Yeah.
with their similarities. Unlike Nancy,
Yeah.
Little Miss Rollerback.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay.
Thank you for bringing that. Until next time, folks.
Thanks for listening.